All right, so this is our first unofficial Sitecore training in a while. Just a note, both Mike and I have allergies, so we might sound a little bit different. So,
I don't.
yes, you do. So what we're tackling is installing Sitecore 9 Update 1. So the way we are trying to approach this is different. I mean, there's a lot of videos out there, blog posts, which are very, very useful. There's a bunch of other tools as well, which add-ons or different versions like SIF lists, and people have written custom scripts to help you. But we are going to try to approach it using just the native, whatever Sitecore gives us out of the box. One is to see what kind of challenges we face. Two is to actually go through uh, actually go through the install as if, hey, today I want to install Sitecore 9. I have never done it before. I've never used Sitecore installation framework. How does the experience compare to some of the other tools which we might end up doing some of the other sessions on? So, Mike, do you have anything else to add other than syphilis sounds like syphilis?
Well, so yeah, I guess just to kind of dovetail on what you said, it's like there are probably tools out there. There are tools out there that can help with this kind of stuff, but it's always good to go back to basics to know where you start from, so that you can understand what these tools are doing behind the scenes, just in case something goes wrong. So that's all I have to add for that. But yeah,
All right. So, first thing you would need to do is obviously you would have to go into your, let's see, right there. You need to get into dev.sitecore.net. I mean, you have access to download all the files you possibly want, but the first thing we would want you to do is download the install guide. Take a look through it. The biggest thing in this compared to the other versions before is the way you install Sitecore. So one of the first things which I suggest you do is look through the prerequisites, read through the documentation, especially if you have not done this before. So just off the top of my head, make sure you have the right Windows version, make sure you have the right SQL version, and then we will get started from that. So just to let you know what Mike and I are doing is right now we're spinning up an instance with base Windows 2016 version. Once that spins up, we will be installing SQL Server 2016 Service Pack 1. The reason for that specificity is that Service Pack 1 lets you run all the experience management databases as well as the XDB, whereas SP2, Sitecore says that they do not support XDB on it. So we're going to go by whatever Sitecore says that it's supported. So once we get to this point where we have the database and the Windows installed, we'll run Windows updates to make sure everything is installed the way it's supposed to. And then we will be installing up to .NET version 4.7. The reason for that, I know it says 4.6.2 or later, but there is a compatibility table in Sitecore where XP9, if you look at it, it says 6.2 and 4.7. So we will be installing up to 4.7 and all of these prerequisites before we get to Solar. And right when we get to Solar, we'll resume the recording.
yep.
All right. So hold on.
Sweet.
And just to kind of also mention that we do want things, we're hoping for a smooth install with no problems. But as you guys always know, with something new, something which we are learning, there's always pitfalls, there's always challenges. So in
That
this
never happens. Never
yeah,
happens.
sure. Yeah, it does, right? So in this video, we want things to fail. We want things to be challenging. We want things to break so that we can fix it and kind of simulate what happened. So this instance we are running, which is fresh, nothing has been touched on it. It's brand new. a VM with Windows 2016 running. So it should be pretty similar to what anyone else would face. If anything, it should be simpler because it's fresh and it doesn't have anything on it. All right, so we are going to pause the recording for now and get all the prerequisites done, and then we'll pick it up afterwards. Mike, you have anything to add before we pause?
Yeah, go get a snack, cup of coffee, have a nap, do whatever it is that you do, and just come on it back, and we'll show you some magic.
All right. All right, so what we did is we installed the Windows 2016. We ran all the updates. We installed SQL 2016 SP1. We installed the Management Studio 17. Now we're going to install the .NET framework and make this plain Windows Server and IIS server. So let's go to Server Manager, add roles. Actually, we gotta wait. Okay, there you go. Add roles. That's fine. That's fine. We are going to select the web services. Yes, web server. Can hit next, and the role services. I usually said a bunch more, but anyway, so here all we need is ASP 4.6. Add features, next, install. All right, so that is done. What I'm going to do next is run a set of Windows updates again just to make sure we got everything. All right, so the Windows updates came back. We have no update, so the next thing for us to do is install this VC++ redistributable, which we're going to do. All right, so we have the redistributable requirement taken care of. We'll get to that next. The database is done. As far as we know, it's up and running, so we don't have any issues with that. Next, we get to Solar. So we're going to try to find out the best way to do this for Solar and see what we do. We are going to be targeting the XP single at this moment in time. So let's see what happens. All right, the next thing, as we mentioned, we need to install Solar 662. In order to do that, we need the Java runtime. So here I am going to download the, there you go, download the 64-bit version. Now, I do want to mention that there are several other tool sets you can use to make your life easy on this. Like you could install Chocolatey and life will be a lot simpler. What I'm trying to do is, since this is our server, right, and we want to keep it as lean as we possibly can, I'm trying not to install anything we don't want to install on top of it, keep it to bare minimum. So we're trying to use all the like native kind of installers, native kind of tools, so that we don't add additional things on top of these servers. So we'll install this. So that's great. And then on top now for Solar, so Apache Solar download, we don't need the latest, we need the past 662. So we get to 662 and we download the zip. Once you download the zip, just make sure that it's unblocked. I always do. And then you extract this to the C drive. So Solar 6.6.2. All right, so it finished extracting. Let's put it back. So we have that running. Next, we need a way for us to add Solar as a service, because this is a server and we wanted it to start automatically. For this, we will install NSSM. Hold on for that next. All right, let's install solar. Set the path to the solar CMD file. Here, I usually set the port to be 8984, depending on the environment I use. Sometimes I do 8983. So let's just do solar 6.2, do the same over here. Install service, so it's now installed. All right, so now let's do solar. You can do it from here, or you can also go into the services, and if you look for solar, you will see that the solar 662 is running right now. So you could control it from here too, but it's set to automatic, and you can start and stop it, but when you restart the machine, it'll get started automatically. So according to the doc, we have solar running, so that's taken care of right there. And then we have antivirus. We don't have any on here. This is an 8 cores, 32 gigs, so we're fine there. Client requirements will come to it next. Now we get to the Sitecore install prerequisite. So here it just talks about the permissions and that the network service is what the default account is, and that the permissions need to be set based on that for a few folders in the system. All right, for the prerequisites for Sitecore install framework, it's requiring us to make sure that we have PowerShell version 5.1. So let's take a look real quick. Let's check if the version so we currently have 5.1 installed, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's have a look. What platform installer? We need that. All right, so we did that. And then we need to make sure, so the admin manual's fine. We need to install web deploy. We need to install the URL rewrite. Right, so let's just install the web deploy and a couple others. So get this. So according to the doc, we need 3.6 for hosting services. Where is this? Okay, so we need 3.6 for hosting services. We also need URL rewrite 2.1. Had that, install it. What we can also do is this other requirement, the DACFX. We could also install it via this, so I will do that right after this. All right, it's still going, so I'm going to pause and restart once it's all done. Okay, so that's all done. Let's get this going. Had that install. I'm going to install this, so get that out of the way. All right. All right, so our next request is that we need to delete the installer cache. So we are in web platform installer, go to options, scroll down, delete. Okay, so that should take care of that. So the next one is management studio. We need to run this command, which will help with the web deploy packages. So get back here. E. All right, awesome. So we got that done. Blah, 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 blah. All right, installing solar. This is kind of like a sore topic for people who've installed solar with SSL enabled. So we, in a previous step, we installed solar. It's running fine, but we need to install SSL on solar. If you look at it, Documentation is pretty clean and easy to follow. It's just multiple steps, and you just have to do them one by one. There's scripts available in the community where you could just run it and it works fine, but we're trying to stay true to the instructions given here just to kind of see what happens when we follow every single step. All right, so let me get that set up. So we set up the command which is given in the documentation. We just modified a few parameters, and we are going to run this. And then when we do, the file will get created over here. Also, I wanted to show you that it gives you the next command which you need to run, which is what lets us create the P12 file, which lets you import it into Windows. So I'm going to do that. It's going to ask you for the key store file. So I'm going to enter secret. And then it generates the file for us. So essentially at this point, what we can do is we can go to certificates. We can go to trusted authorities, import this file, and specify secret, and say yes. And as you noticed right here, it creates the file for us. And just to note that by default we're using the the default values for this, but if it's your company and stuff, you want to probably have your own values and have an actual certificate instead of the self-cert right here. Next is to decide on what we want to install. So in this instance, we will be primarily choosing the XP single, but you can get into complicated scenarios, which we will definitely tackle coming on. Okay, one of the things I forgot to do, and the SSL wasn't working for Solar, is in the Solar in command file, I was supposed to enable these, make sure the paths are set up right, the password is set up right, the type is set up right, which I didn't follow, and I was having issues. So I enabled that, restarted Solar, and now if I go to HTTPS, so if I go to that, as you can see, my Solar comes up fine. So this is a piece I was missing, which I took care of. So that should be okay for us for Solar. Now we come back to the installation. So we decided to go to XP single. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I am going to download all of that at this moment, and then we'll resume the video. Okay, so the next we will download the XP single, and then let's see what it asks us to do. So we go back to dev.sitecore.net, XP single, download it. Once it's downloaded, let's extract it. Sitecore. Okay, and then in here we need this guy. Let's extract it. That is good. And then they want us to modify the Sitecore Solar JSON. Let's open that. Notepad's fine. This guy's hurry. Okay, and then we need to set everything in the parameters block. Let me just do that, and then we can get going. All right, so We changed a couple. This was 661. I changed it to 662. This was 661. I changed it to 662. This instance was already working, so we're fine there. And then, so what we'll do is we'll get to the next one where it's going to try to get us to install SIF. So let's do that. Okay. All right. So now it wants to register the repos. Let's see. I know this is not optimal, but I just want to follow this and see what happens. All right. Also, do you want? Yeah, go ahead. Does that? Let me copy this guy real quick. All right. So what we found is actually interesting. So let's run it again. We have an issue with the feed. Delete that. And then you notice it is sc-PowerShell, whereas over there, does the same thing. So I guess in the copy paste of this, it removed the hyphens, which is the funny part. Okay, anyway, so be careful when you're copying from there. And saying that, let's copy from there. All right, so we'll go to the next one. Yes, do we trust this repository? Yes, we do. All right. Okay. So as you can see, what I'm trying to do is we're trying to follow everything the right way. We're trying to follow what's in there. I'm not opening 10 other things in order for us to see if it's working or not, or if it's if it's installed the right way, or to install things. So we're trying to use what's in the doc, and this is what I would assume a typical person would do. And we just noticed the copy paste where it took out the hyphen and it caused an issue. Anyways, so if you look at it, we do have it installed. So we should be all set at this moment, and we should be able to get started. As you can see, we've spent quite a bit of time getting to this part, right? So the prerequisites take up a huge amount of time. Again, you're not installing Sitecore every 2 seconds or every day. For your local installs, maybe we can use one of our other tools when we do get to it. But for server installs, this is probably like a one-time deal until we update it. All right, let's continue. So we have we're going to install Sitecore fundamentals. We are going to do that. And then at this point, we're done with that. We are not running SIF remotely. All right. We have all of that. Let's download the SIF configuration, which we did. Okay. We did that. Okay, we did that. Okay. Predefined topology. Yes, we understand. Okay. All right. All right. right, so now this is getting to the meat and potatoes. So we got everything. It's kind of explaining to us what the XP does, what kind of roles it has, because it's not just a CM at this moment in time. We need to think about the other roles, and with the new XConnect, it installs separate sites and certs related to that. So it's basically going over all of that. Let's take a look at this and see all the changes we need to make. All right, so it's asking us to create a folder and stuff. So let me just do it. Sitecore 9XP. What we're going to do is we're going to dump these, and then we're going to dump these two, I think. So 3, 4, 5. So we have 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7 files in there. All right, so then we have to dump the license file as well, and then get the license file, dump it in there, and then it gives us a script. Let's copy this script. Hope we are not losing any any values in here, but we will find out. Let's get in here. All right. And then it asks us to modify that, which is fair. Where's the folder? It's here. I guess because the default was that 89, 8983, so 8983. Solar root. C. So C solar -662 solar service. We don't have. I think the solar service we have it as solar if I'm not wrong. Oh, sorry, solar. So let me set these properties also. I think I have to double check the JSON real quick. Hold on. Okay, we set that. I don't think we need to modify anything else. Oh, I think we missed one all the way at the bottom. See, this is the problem. Okay, so we have XConnect, add, save. Let's go to that. They want us to name it. Install. Do that in the partial command line. So let's go back here. Sorry, so we get back here. All right, a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. So this is our first try. I have not modified it, manipulated, did anything at this moment in time. There's no customizations other than what the document has asked us. And I am so hopeful that it'll come up, but again, there you go. Let's see what the problem is because of. Right, so I think I figured out what the problem was. So with the copy pasting again from a PDF, that was the issue. So if I replace that and make it in one line, hopefully this should work. All right, so that's totally my fault because I didn't update the second path, which sucks, but I'm going to run it again. All right, so we have the course, we have the site up and running. I do have to say though, there were three issues for us. One, I didn't follow the Apache documentation properly. The other two were solely related to line breaks in the script over there, as well as over there, and the one before. So all user problems, nothing to do with SIF. Would I do this every single time for my local machine? Might not. But would I do it for the servers? Absolutely. But everyone should go through this once so they know what it takes to build. With SIF, relatively, I didn't have to make any modifications at all. So other than this part up here, I didn't have to touch many things. Obviously, if you customize per your environment, you would have to do things like that. And I would imagine for something like this, the more you do it, the better you get at installing and knowing the pitfalls ahead of time and the challenges and walk around it. So now we have it up and running. This is the end of it. We will post this video, as well as we'll try to get a couple of other ways of installing, see if we can get those to run faster on the same exact machine, or maybe from a brand new install, and see how that goes. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.